Okay, y'all, I go to buy some flooring, and I end up with a forklift and no flooring. So, but I do have a forklift. This kind of shit happens to me all the time. I end up with something totally different than what I went after. But been looking for a forklift. I thought it was a good deal, so I bought it. Hopefully it makes my life easier, and if it does, we'll be good. If it doesn't, I'll sell it again. So we'll do something right or wrong. But I got me a forklift. It's says it'll pick up 5,600 pounds. I don't know if it actually will or not, but that's what it says. So we'll see. We're about 15 miles from the building. When we get over to the building, we'll look it over. I'll show it to you a little more. It's an 82 model. I wanted an older one so I could work on it if I need to. You know, all that stuff you're gonna have to work on eventually. So that's what I bought. So bought an old one. It's an oldie but a goodie, and we should be good to go.
Now, folks, you probably saw the video just now of Donnie driving down the road, giggling like a little kid. Look what he's got. Happy times are here again. Look what he's got. It's a Heister 18. All right, Donnie, we want to know all about it. Give us the tour here.
I don't know nothing about it yet.
Uh-huh.
I just got it.
He just got it.
But
through the magic of video editing, he may have got it a week or so ago. Woo, she sounds so sweet.
Go up, go down, she go forward, she go backwards.
Uh-huh.
A little 4-cylinder propane.
Now, Donnie, talk to us like we're 5-year-olds.
Okay.
Why do you need a forklift?
Well, y'all saw I've been doing a bunch of stuff with the skid steer, picking stuff up.
Yes.
And I'm always only about half confident that skid steer is going to pick it up.
Uh-huh.
So we're getting into heavier things. We're getting into more things like bricks, for instance. We're getting pallets and pallets and pallets of bricks to do underpinnings on these houses and stuff like that. The forklift, the skid steer will only pick up about 1,000 pounds, 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. Well, a pallet of brick is like 1,900 pounds. Skid steer won't pick it up.
Uh-huh.
So I've got a hand unload it on. Well, hand unload down to the point where the forklift will pick it up. The skid steer will pick it up.
Uh-huh.
But when you do that, a lot of times, like bricks, for instance, I can't take half the bricks off, because when I do, now you can't pick it up. It's got to stay in a bundle. And we're getting sheets of plywood, units of plywood, units 2x4, stuff like that. The forklift, the skid steer just won't pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got something here that will pick up more weight.
Uh-huh.
This thing will pick up 6,000 pounds, or 60. $5,600 pounds.
Uh-huh.
So I've been looking for one. I finally found one at a decent deal, so I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually relatively close. So we got it, and we've been using it a little bit. It seemed to work pretty good.
All right, so how old is it?
It's a oldie.
Oldie but moldy. I'm gonna guess.
I thought it was 83 or something.
Yeah, I would guess early 80s.
I thought it was 83.
Okay.
But in forklifts, it don't really matter because nobody ever uses them.
Mm-hmm.
You use them hard for the first 4 or 5 years, and then you put them to the side, and you get something newer and better and greater. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's gonna show us how it runs. All right. Now remember, we're 5 years old.
5 years old.
What is this big tank on the back?
This is propane.
Propane.
This is a gas tank, basically.
Like Hank Hill. Did you ever watch King of the Hill with Hank Hill?
No.
We'll just let that slide. So on King of the Hill, Hank Hill, is the cartoon. You remember Beavis and Butthead?
Yes, I remember.
The same guy that did that made this cartoon called King of the Hill. It's pretty real funny. And Hank Hill was the main character on it, and he was a propane salesman. He sold propane and propane accessories. So anyway, how would you run? See, propane is for grills, isn't it?
For anything, it's fire.
How would you run a forklift on a propane tank?
Well, you get a special carburetor
Uh huh.
that runs propane instead of gasoline.
And it burns it
It burns it
with a spark, just like gas.
But propane is designed for inside use, where it don't put out. It's not as
Fumes.
toxic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can breathe it and it won't kill you.
Uh-huh.
To a point. Now, people don't lock yourself up in the garage with a towel up underneath the thing and start it up and think you can breathe it, because that shit ain't going to happen.
Unless you're trying to, some people do that airy carry,
Yeah.
Don't do that. Okay, so it runs off propane. That's kind of cool. Runs off gas. Did it come with the propane?
Yes, it comes with the propane.
That's pretty cool. Probably saved you $50 there.
Well, I don't know. That tank's probably $200 by itself.
How much does it cost to refill a propane tank?
That one there, they said $35.
$35.
That's
Okay.
locally.
And that's if you go to Lowe's?
No, that's locally.
Locally, okay.
If you go to Lowe's, it's probably $300 because they don't fill it. And it's different than a regular grill tank. It hooks up differently.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool.
It's got solid tires on it.
Solid little tires.
It's designed for inside use only. It won't go that good on the dirt out there.
Yeah, that'd
Is it
probably be
so
bad.
heavy?
Yeah. That thing looks heavy as hell.
It's like 10,000 pounds.
So why do they make them so heavy like that?
Because they need a counterweight to pick up whatever they're picking up. This here is actually concrete. These things are solid concrete.
Huh.
So
I can confirm, folks. That feels like concrete to me.
they're solid concrete. A lot of them's got a steel liner with concrete on the inside. But they do that because that's the heaviest thing we got. So they put it, well, somebody's going to say lead's heavier, but it's the heaviest thing we've got that's relatively cheap.
It's kind of wild they call it a hister.
Uh-huh. But the little seat, it flips up here. Probably ain't going to be able to see nothing. But we're going to open it up here.
Look, folks, we have no way of making it brighter in here.
Little 4-cylinder.
Oh, man, it looks like something out of like a Toyota or something.
It very could well be. But
Little 4-cylinder, inline 4-cylinder engine, it looks like.
uh-huh.
You got a distributor there on the side. That's probably your air conditioning pump.
No, that's the propane pump.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's the propane pump there. And you got regular. It's just like a regular car. But
Yeah, it really is.
Right there's your carburetor, but it's a propane carburetor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's pretty simple.
Is that a 12-volt battery?
Yep.
Huh. That makes it convenient.
Yep. So
All right, show us the controls. Now, they can't see them all that great. Maybe I can brighten it up. I don't know. I can't. Okay.
this one here is forward and reverse.
Forward and reverse.
This one here.
That's kind of like your turn signal.
Yep. This one here is up and down. The one
Up
with the
and
knob
down.
on it.
Okay. Okay, so this one is moving your
This one,
the whole vehicle.
moving the vehicle. This one's up and down.
Just moving the
Boom.
forks.
Yep.
The boom.
This one here is tilt. It'll tilt forward and backwards.
Uh-huh.
Then you got a gas pedal over there.
Okay, so like if this is in forward and you hit gas, you go forward.
Yep.
Do you have to hit gas to go up with the fork?
It'll go faster if you do.
Oh, okay.
You got a brake pedal,
All right.
and you got a clutch pedal.
All right. Why would you need a clutch?
This is different from a regular clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Regular clutch, you push it in, and you got to shift gears.
Uh-huh.
This one, you push it in about halfway. With it still in gear, it will release your drive forward, but you can rev it up so you can pick your forks up faster. Now, if you push that all the way down, it puts the brakes on too. So you can do clutch, and it's clutch and brakes, or you can do just brakes.
So it's kind of like you get the feel of it after you mess around with it a little bit.
Yep.
When I mow the grass, I got one of them damn ones that move on their own, self-propelled.
Self-propelled.
And mine, depending on how you squeeze it, it goes different speed. You get used to it after a while. You know, it's supposed to be single speed, but if you throttle it a little bit, it goes slower. So you're saying the clutch pedal kind of works like that?
Yep, clutch pedal works.
You might decide, hey, if I push this one in and I do this, the fork goes up quicker.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, what gauges have we got here?
This one here is temperature. That's the only one I've ever looked at.
Temperature.
This one here ain't nothing. And these little lights here, I have no clue. That one says it's oil.
Oil. Uh-oh.
But it don't
You
work.
got oil problems.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
But temperature's the only one I ever check.
Uh-huh. And what's this? Why is there a knob over here?
That's the brake fluid. That's going to be the brake fluid.
That's pretty cool. What's this? An emergency brake?
Yep, it's emergency brake.
And this is oil?
That's hydraulic oil.
Hydraulic oil. And it's cooled just like a...
Yeah,
it's water cooled.
It's got a radiator. Cap's back there behind it.
Well, that's pretty cool, Donnie.
Yep.
Are you going to tell them how much you paid for it?
No.
Was it $200?
No.
Was it $5,000?
Yeah, hell.
Okay, so it's in between that, folks.
It's in between that.
There's a piece over here. I could probably teach you about this. This is called a seat belt.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen you wearing one.
No.
But this you see, you strap it around yourself, and that way you won't fall out and get crushed. Tell them the deal about Home Depot. A lot of people don't know this. I did not know this until Donnie mentioned it.
What about them killing people?
Yeah, listen to this crap. You can Google it after you watch this entire video. Don't leave first.
When I worked at Home Depot, I worked there for 10 years, 12 years, something like that.
Good company, by the way.
Anyway, I worked there, and at the time, that was in the early 90s. Is that right? No, that was
Mid-90s, late 90s.
That was late 90s. Late 90s, I worked there, and we killed in Home Depot. Not me personally.
We had nothing to do with it. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
They killed. Blame it on them.
In Home Depot, they killed about 30 people per year, and most of them was kids. But they killed 3 times more people than Lowe's or Home Quarters or any of the other big box retailers.
So how did they kill them?
Most of it was with forklifts. They stabbed them.
Forklift-related accidents are common as hell. So that's one of the reasons this thing's built like this. In case the entire freaking rack collapses on them or something, this is all steel tubing. You see it says overhead guard right there, right?
Basically, 90% of people don't watch their kids when they go in Home Depot. And they let their kids play in the lumber aisle. And Home Depot is the only one, or what used to be, the only one that stocked during the day. So the forklift would go in to put more 2x4s. Well, kids would be back there and they didn't see them and they'd crush them. Lowe's, they didn't stock during the day. They only stocked at night. I think that has changed now, but I'm not sure. But when I worked there, it was the worst place to bring a kid, really.
I've been in Lowe's recently. I always go kind of in the evening, like 9 o'clock. They're about to close, or they're closing 20 minutes or something. And I have seen them moving stuff while I was in there, and they do a whole freaking parade. They have a flag person.
Yeah.
And it's every time I've seen it. They literally have somebody walking with flags, waving the flags like this as they're walking down the aisle, and the forklift is going beep, 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 and just barely moving because they're scared to death they're going to kill somebody, because apparently it happens a lot.
Well, with that being said, in my store, the store I worked in, we never killed anybody.
Yeah.
Not while I worked there anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I did see a couple good close calls.
Now, did they knock over racks ever?
Yes. A rack got knocked over. And a boy on the size, about this size forklift, he had 2 units of 6x6 and dumped them into the cash register. And he was up probably 14 foot when it started.
Good God almighty.
And I was standing there watching that one when it happened. But,
fortunately, nobody got hurt.
yeah, fortunately, nobody got hurt, but we did bust the doors out of front of the building, and we tore the cash register down, and We did a bunch of damage over there.
You know, a place like Home Depot, they're going to have problems. And again, we like Home Depot.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not saying that you shouldn't shop there or anything like that. We're not saying anything negative about them. We're just talking about the reality and why things are the way they are. A place like Home Depot, you got to think about what's going on. They're hiring people, sometimes young, 18, 19 years old, training them a little bit, hopefully a lot on the forklift, and then handing them the keys, you know, and
the next thing,
then there's turnover. You know, the kid might only work there 4 months, and then now you got to hire somebody else and train him, so problems happen.
Well, when I was there was 5 different forklifts, and you had to be smart enough to figure out which forklift you had to use.
Yeah,
so like
that's true.
This forklift here, it was for the light bulb aisle and shit like that. It shouldn't even have been in the lumber department.
Yeah.
And then they had one about 3 times this size for the lumber department. And everybody wants to have it in the outside garden for some reason. And then they had like 3 or 4 electric ones, different ones that you can use, that their max was like 1,500 pounds. And you got to know what that max line is, just like I was talking about with my skid steer, it's 1,000 pounds. Well, I push it to 1,100 to have guys standing on the back of it trying to pick stuff up, you know, just asking for an accident to happen. And that's what happens, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's Donnie's new toy. He's been wanting one for a long time. He finally got him one. He's happy with it. He likes it.
Woohoo!
We're going.
Damn, the horn.
He's got a horn too.
I didn't even notice that.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So.
Yep. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up for filming it. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already, and we'll catch you on the next